CNN, the first Super Soul Party in 2017 was a largely impromptu affair, designed to make sure a few folks experiencing homelessness could watch the biggest game of the year in comfort. Mayor Kalmanson, dressed in Tom Brady's New England Patriots jersey, invited men he met on New York sidewalks to a Super Bowl party he was throwing. Soon, the men who agreed were ushered into cars and whisked off to Manhattan Penthouse Bar 235th, where they had their own private seating area with food, Patriots t-shirts and access to several large TVs. The party host, known as Mayor K to his 308,000 YouTube followers, shared clips from the first ever Super Soul Party on his channel. Now, that initial event has grown from a small gathering of men K met that night to a nationwide chain of celebrations in 35 cities for residents living in homeless shelters. A man randomly threw a Super Bowl party for the homeless. 3 years later, he's hosting 20 across the U.S. The parties are places to eat and get haircuts, enjoy the most important football game of the year and form a community that hopefully, K said, lasts long after Super Bowl Sunday. We use the Super Bowl as a way to get people's attention, K told CNN. But really what happens is the magic, when people are able to reconnect with themselves and with the community so that they're able to rebuild their lives. How Super Soul Parties started and took off. K said that he noticed homeless outreach efforts tend to peak in New York during the winter holidays like Thanksgiving and Christmas, but when it comes to what might be considered the U.S. biggest unofficial holiday, Super Bowl Sunday, he didn't know of any game day parties for those experiencing homelessness. So he threw his own. Though that fateful first party only had a handful of attendees, all of whom K invited earlier in the evening, the idea caught like wildfire, he said, and soon, volunteers were bringing Super Soul Parties to their own cities. In 2020, there were 20 parties across the U.S. K, pictured left, said his goal is to throw Super Soul Parties in every state. COVID-19 threw a wrench in K's plans for expansion. There were no Super Soul Parties in 2021. The lull only inspired him to go bigger in 2022, he said. The parties keep growing in size and scope. K said he works with homeless shelters to invite attendees to their city's Super Soul Party. On game day, volunteers transport partygoers from shelters to a safe space where the festivities are held. It would be easier to do it in a homeless shelter, but the foundation of these events is really to take people out of those environments, K said. There's more to enjoy at the parties than a buffet and good company, too. In recent years, K's parties have added resources for guests to rebuild themselves from the inside out, with mental health counseling and financial services. Partygoers also have access to free clothing, hygiene kits and other essentials they can take home. There are barbers to give them a trim while they watch the game, too. This year, the biggest event is in Orlando, with 500 attendees in Exploria Stadium, CNN affiliate WFTV reported, where the Orlando City Soccer Club and Orlando Pride play. Most other parties will see between 50 to 100 people attend due to COVID-19 restrictions, K said. The work continues after the Super Bowl ends. While organizing 35 parties across the U.S. is an achievement, K said he wants to throw a Super Soul Party in every state in the U.S. next. He's started hosting Thanksgiving dinners for residents of homeless shelters, too. And while in-person events are where Super Soul thrives, he hopes partnerships with local businesses and other organizations can keep the work going in the off-season, too. K said he's working with some finance companies to organize virtual financial freedom classes and share them with shelters. Super Soul Parties offer resources like mental health counseling and haircuts in addition to a place to watch the big game, K said. For all its growth, K said he grew up with the mentality of just go big. The purpose of a Super Soul Party is to impact the lives of the people it serves. One of the Super Soul Party moments K holds dearest happened the day after the Super Bowl. A man who'd attended a 2020 party was featured in a local newscast where he was spotted by his adult son with whom had lost contact years earlier. The two reconnected, and the man moved in with his son in Beckham, an active member of his family and loving grandfather, K said. Though the pandemic stunted the growth of K's efforts, and planning Super Soul Parties isn't without its challenges, moments like that remind K why he threw that 2017 party in the first place, he said. When things get hard and difficult, it's like, oh, this is why we do it, he said. This is why we put the work in.